Every single person I know has that one man in their life that is impossible to buy for because they already have everything, or they're so niche, their interests, it's just hard to figure out what it is. That person in my life is my father. My father happens to be an excellent gift giver, but he's very hard to pick out for because he seems to have everything. And honestly, he's a pretty simple person. He's content with what he has. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to make it easy for you. If you have a man in your life, a brother, a father, a coworker, an uncle, your weird neighbor, whoever it is, I'm going to help you get the ultimate gift for men this year by looking at a tier chart in which I'm going to rank all men's gifts from great to okayish. And in order to do that, I'm going to share a screen with you in just a moment. But I do want to mention this. Pretty much everything I'm going to talk about in this video, I'll post a link to Amazon so you can grab it in the description of this video. If you want to use an affiliate link, you can go down there and grab the things that I'm talking about. Also want to mention too that most of the items that we're going to talk about in this video, I've done full reviews for on this channel. So just be aware that if you're looking for something in particular that I talked about, there might already be a review video of that very topic. So just go ahead, in my name on my YouTube channel, just put that item in the search bar. There's probably already a review for that, and I'll make mention of those as we go. So here we go. We're going to get into it. We're doing the ultimate men's gift giving tier chart today. And let's start off with an absolute superior recommendation. That would be my own book, Bold as a Lion, Christian Courage in the Age of Cowards. Now, in all honesty, yes, the book came out. It's in paperback. It's an ebook. It is also coming out in Audible, but I don't know that I'm that arrogant to put it in the S chart. So let's go ahead and put it down here in the B. Although I have to tell you, I did work as hard as I possibly could on this book, and I do think it's going to be a blessing to a lot of different men. A lot of guys out there need some courage. A lot of guys out there, I'm not saying anybody's wimpy or cowards necessarily, but that is the topic that I addressed in this particular book. So if you think of anybody for whom this book might be a banger, go ahead and grab that for them in the link in the description of this video. Okay, but honestly, while I do think that's a solid choice, let's just start off with some basics. Let's start off with a pair of men's socks. Now I'm going to rank this down here in the D tier, but that's not because there's anything wrong with men's socks. Matter of fact, the older I get, the more I appreciate good socks. I've been out in the woods, out in the back, hunting quite a bit lately, and I'll tell you what, my feet and my fingers are the very first things to grow cold. So there are good socks out there, and dads like socks. Believe it or not, we don't need toys. We don't need stocking stuffers. Get us a good pair of socks, and we're probably going to be happy for that. You can get some good socks online. This is a pair called Bramble socks that I got a while back. I think that they're pretty awesome. They're strong, they're fits, they keep me nice and warm. A little bit more expensive, but probably any good socks would do. So I'm going to put that on the D tier chart just because they're not very expensive. And honestly, it doesn't take a lot of creativity. So if you're looking for a dude that you kind of, it's like, well, he's hard to buy for, and also maybe you don't care, probably socks are going to be just fine for that. Now, let's upgrade that slightly. I'm still going to put this down here in the D tier chart though, and that would be a good necktie. Most guys, at least the guys that I know, they could probably use a good necktie. And if I was going to choose a necktie for a guy that doesn't wear ties all the time, I'm going to go with kind of a paisley pattern. I think paisleys are pretty awesome, and I've got a bunch of different paisleys. I even have a paisley black tie, which is awesome. Ties can cost you a little bit of money, but I wouldn't go to the expensive store and get a tie, to be completely honest. I would go to like a Marshall's, or what's that other one called? It's kind of similar to Marshall's. There's Marks in our area, but I don't think that store's everywhere. Blanket on the name of that other store, but you can go to stores that are like, kind of those off-brandy type stores and get decent ties for somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 to $12. I wouldn't spend a whole lot more than that. So we're going to put that down there on the D chart too. It's cool, and I love ties, don't get me wrong, but not necessarily a very creative gift. Now, let's raise it up a notch, shall we? And let's go all the way up to the superior. This will be our first superior, and I'm serious about this one. This one right here is awesome. A Watson watch. Now, I actually wear a Watson watch at all times. It's my main watch, and I did a review of this particular watch for my guy, Paul, who's also on X. He's very active on social media, on X as well as Instagram. Conservative Christian company here. That's what I love about Watson Watch. This is a company that's based, if you know what based is, and I'm sure you do, it means that it's solid, founded, grounded in its worldview. The motto for Watson is, this is the watch that knows what time it is. And got to be honest, Paul from Wasson Watch talks about social issues. He's very conservative, just like I am. He's very pro-America, just like I am. So I love supporting Wasson Watch. I think they're awesome. Super high quality watches too. Now they're a little bit more expensive. If you're thinking about doing like the socks or tie thing, you're probably in the wrong league for this, because this is not a cheap Walmart $20 watch. These are going to set you back a little bit. But again, the quality is awesome, and I have a full review video of that also on my channel. I wouldn't complain, to be honest, if somebody got me a gift certificate for sushi, because my wife and I love sushi. So you might want to think about experiences too. Sometimes gifts are what you're looking for. You're looking for that tangible, open up kind of a product, something cool, that wow factor when you tear off the wrapping paper, whatever. But honestly, a date with your wife is about as good as anything. So to some degree, look, if I'm going to take somebody to sushi, it's going to be my wife. And I'm going to put that on the superior grade, honestly, because there's nothing better than hanging out with my own wife. I love my wife. I love being with her. We both love sushi. We love Chinese food. We love Mexican food, all kinds of food. So honestly, a date with my wife is going to be great. Now, I don't know about the men in your life, whether they're going on a date with their wives or not. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down in the C tier chart here, because gift certificates are great, to be honest. And who's disappointed with the gift certificate? But a lot of times people don't use them. I still have gift certificates from restaurants that people got me last Christmas. We do keep them, and whenever we travel, we try to use them, but sometimes, it's not your favorite restaurant or whatever. So I'm going to suggest that a gift certificate is a C tier gift. It's not bad. It's not necessarily the most creative thing either. Although if you're going to spend it with a person that you love, then it's obviously superior. But if you're going to just have any old gift certificate, then I'm going to put that down on the C level right here. Okay. Let's do another B level. And here I'm going to go with something a little bit controversial. How about some smoking supplies? Now, listen, I know. Go ahead, hammer me in the comments. I probably deserve it. Not everybody smokes. Some people think it's a sin. Some people think it's not cool. Some people don't like the smell. Personally, I do smoke a pipe or a cigar every once in a while. Not all the time. Haven't done it in months because of the cold weather right now. But if you're going to get into pipes and pipe tobacco, I would really suggest something by Peterson. Peterson not only makes tobacco, but they also make some really awesome pipes. This one right here is a Peterson. This one right here is a Peterson. There's also some cheaper American pipes like this guy right here. You can get these online as well. You can get some pretty decent pipes on Amazon. If you're looking for a quality pipe that's going to be in the range of probably like $100, I don't think you could do much worse than a Peterson, because they're Irish and it's a great brand. They also make tobacco, so that's a pretty decent choice. Now, because of the controversy of tobacco, I'm going to put this on the C level. But hey, if the dude in your life is a pipe smoker, then getting him some accoutrements for pipe smoking is also awesome. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and put some cigars on here as well. Now, a couple of years ago, my wife actually got me a really cool cigar kit. Okay, it had all of the little things that you need, kind of the tools, the trimmers, and so forth. And it also came with a humidor box, which was really awesome. And then it came with a subscription to different kinds of cigars. There's all kinds of cigars out there, very expensive to very cheap. There's some Christian cigars online, though, if you want some. There's some pretty good cigars out there. One's called Patriarch Cigars. Another one is 1689 Cigars. So if you're looking for Christian-based cigar brands to support, I would Google either of those, Patriarch or 1689. Honestly, I like pipes a little bit better than cigars. Cigars are easy. Pipes take a little bit more fiddling. So I'm going to go ahead and put cigars in the C level. I think that's an awesome gift. And my wife did very well when she got me that humidor and a bunch of cigars one year. That was very cool. I really appreciated it. I thought it was neat. Okay, let's go to another, let's see, let's call this a C level gift right here. This is a book. Books are great. Who doesn't like books? I love books. You love books? Me too. Christians like books. Men like books. Readers like books. This one right here is a pretty cool book. And my dad, actually back to my dad, he read this book and really appreciated it. Now, my dad has gone kind of on and off again with theology and biblical commentaries and so forth, but he really appreciated this book by Peter J. Williams, Can We Trust the Gospels? It's a simple book. It's only about 120 pages, so it's not a mammoth read or anything like that. But if you know somebody that's kind of maybe just into Christianity or considering the merits of Christianity or considering kind of the basic apologetic fundamentals of Christianity, the defensibility of the faith, this book right here, Can We Trust the Gospel by Peter Williams, is one that both my dad appreciated and I appreciated it too. Absolutely nothing wrong with this book. It's a little bit less expensive, so I'm going to put this down in the probably the C chart right here. Still a great gift. Can't go anything wrong with that. If you want to upgrade a bit to a bit more of a difficult book, and so I'm going to put this one up a little bit. Let's put this on the B chart. This is the book Messiah the Prince by William Symington. He's been dead for a while, but believe it or not, I've got the recommendation on the back of the book, Crown and Covenant, one of my favorite publishers. They reached out to me and sent me a new copy of this is the new cover for Messiah the Prince. They asked me to share a few words, so you're going to actually see my name on the back of the book, which is pretty cool. But this is the classic work on what is sometimes called nationalism or establishmentarianism. Some people call it Christian nationalism. That title can get a little bit iffy because people mean all things by that. But it's basically the doctrine of the mediatorial kingship of Christ, how it is that he rules over the nations. Now, the reason I'm recommending this book right now is because that is a very, very heavily debated topic online. And the PCA, my denomination, is actually doing a lot of research into this because we're putting together a position paper on the topic of Christian nationalism or establishmentarianism or the Christians' relationship with the government. We're doing a research paper on that right now. So I'm hoping that the guys that are on that committee are using William Symington's book because it is the standard book, at least for Reformed Presbyterians, the RPs or the Covenanters. This is the one that they go to. So because it's a little bit of a difficult book, I'm going to put this down at the B chart right next to me. Now, I'm not saying that my book right here, Bold as a Lion, is as good as a classic like William Symington. Far be it from me to make that kind of a boast. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that I think either one of these would be a pretty good B tier level gift for the dudes in your life. Okay, now, one more book. Let's throw in another or two. Can we? Here's a good book that I really appreciated this year. I'm going to put this up on the B level, and that is the book called A Way to Pray by Matthew Henry. You probably know Matthew Henry from his commentaries. Matthew Henry, very famous commentator. That's probably how you know him, right? Everybody knows the Matthew Henry commentary. Well, he wrote other things, and this book right here, A Way to Pray, really, really revolutionized my prayer life. In fact, I have a video on that topic on my channel. Go back and look at the video called This Book Changed My Life or something like that. But it really, really was helpful to me. Matter of fact, I was reading Matthew Henry's A Way to Pray about the same time that I was writing Bold as a Lion, and I found my days just so busy that I needed a little bit of help in my prayer life. And so as I was busily writing Bold as a Lion, I ended up using Matthew Henry's A Way to Pray just to kind of get me through spiritually. And I found it to be an incredibly beneficial book. And it's also published by Banner of Truth, which is one of the best. Everything Banner of Truth does is awesome. Okay, let's upgrade, shall we? Let's move up a little bit more to an A tier gift. This is an awesome one right here. What we're looking at now is Joel Beeke's Reformed Systematic Theology. This is a 4-volume set, and man, is this awesome. This is another thing that I have review videos on my channel, so if you want to check this out, this is going to be a little bit pricey. Now, I will say that there's a lot of good deals right now, Black Friday deals and so forth, but this one is going to be a little bit pricey, so if you're thinking about doing this, go big on this. This is for somebody that you really love. Women, your husband perhaps, or men, your fathers, or somebody like that, a son who's pursuing ministry, anybody in ministry or teaching or leading or ruling elders in your church, deacons in your church, somebody like that would really benefit from Reformed Systematic Theology. This is a neat book because it's written by Joel Beeke, who's Reformed, and he's mostly Presbyterian. He's Dutch Reformed, actually. But the co-author, Paul Smalley, is a Reformed Baptist. So in a couple of sections, they actually give a little bit of give and take on some things like the doctrine of baptism and so forth. So if you're a Reformed Baptist or you're Presbyterian, you cannot do wrong with this book right here. This is definitely an A-tier gift for men. If you're a guy, that is an awesome, awesome thing to get. If you open it up and you get Beeke in your Christmas box, you are doing well. Okay? Now, let me say this. Men are nostalgic. Men love their teenage years. Men never grow out of some of the things that they did when they were young. And for me, that is definitely the case. And for me, my prime of life was the 90s. So a couple of gifts here, ideas coming from the 90s. How about some 90s clothes or shoes? Now, I got here these Samba shoes. Believe it or not, this is what I wore every single day my entire high school life. From freshman all the way through senior and probably into college, I was wearing Adidas Sambas. We called them indoor soccer shoes back in the day, but if you know a guy that grew up in the 90s, he probably would love these shoes. And believe it or not, these are back in style again. That's right. I got these shoes for my birthday just for fun. And my daughter, who is in high school, she was jealous and said she wanted a pair because they're totally in style right now. So, hey, if you're thinking about doing something like that, men love nostalgia, and nostalgia is really, really fun. And speaking of that, here's another A-level gift for sure. This is definitely awesome. I was also a skateboarder, and so I want to put together right now a complete of all of the skateboarding items that I really wanted to have when I was in 8th grade. Okay, so Christian Hosoi was one of my favorite skaters. Here's a Hosoi deck. You can get a lot of reissues for old skateboards. Put it together with some tracker trucks or some gull wings or some thunder trucks or some independent trucks, and get some slime ball wheels or some rat bone wheels or something like that. Put together the classic 80s or 90s skate deck, and you would be totally stoked. I'm going to try to do this for myself if I get a little bit of spare change this Christmas. So I might put together this Christian Hosoi deck for myself, but that's an A-tier gift. It doesn't have to be this, but look, men are very nostalgic. Find out what they liked in their childhood, whether their childhood was the 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. Find out what they liked as a kid and get them that, and dudes will definitely be stoked on that concept, okay? Let's stay with the A-tier. And how about some hunting gear? Men love to hunt, and if they don't love to hunt, what's the matter with them? Here's me hunting yesterday. It looked like a Hoth scene out there. It's frozen and snowy here in western Pennsylvania, so I'm out there recreating the Tauntaun scene from Luke Skywalker getting stuck out there in Hoth. But any hunting gear is an A-level gift, and you can go cheap on this, or you can go a little bit more expensive. So you can get something as basic as hunting knives, or you can get like a deer pole, or you can get some hunting vests. You can get an orange cap or an orange vest like this, which is required when you're in rifle season, at least here in Pennsylvania. You don't have to wear it in archery season, but any hunting gear to me is like, that is totally awesome. Could be binoculars, could be a new scope, could be a rifle, man. You could go big and get your guy a new hunting rifle. That's going to cost you hundreds of dollars, perhaps $500 or more to get a good hunting rifle, maybe $700, maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000, depends on what you're looking for. That could be really a big end item, but depends on the man in your life. And I'll tell you what, dudes love to do dude things, and even guys that haven't hunted before might like to get into the hobby, and you can do it relatively cheaply if you already have a rifle. Or here, let me show you this. Here's another awesome gift. I guess I set that down in the B level because it does depend on what hunting item you're looking for, but if you just search on Amazon, there's a lot of great hunting things. How about this? Man, I would be pumped with this. This is a crossbow for hunting. I got my first deer with this bow right here. This is a Barnett crossbow. Now, Barnett's not the most expensive brand in the world. There's definitely more expensive hunting crossbow brands, but it's a good entry-level hunting crossbow. So if you're thinking about that, you can get into this for something like $200 or $300. And again, this is kind of like hunting rifles where you can go as expensive as you want. I mean, you can really go super pricey if you want to do that. You can go $1,000, $2,000 on a hunting crossbow. But if you want to get into something entry level, I would recommend something like this. And again, I will post a link to the actual one that I got for myself for this Christmas. Yes, I did get myself a Christmas gift. Actually, it's for my wife to get me. It's one of those I got her something to get for me gifts, but that's okay because she did it too. She popped a few church dresses in the old Amazon cart, so we're even to go on that. But I will post a link to in the description of the hunting crossbow that I got for myself. So let's put hunting gear back on the B. Let's finish up with a couple of A-level gifts here. How about some boots? Boots are definitely awesome. And speaking of awesome boots, these right here are Thursday boots, which I've done a review on. I have the brown and the black. These boots are so awesome because they look like church boots. You can totally wear these with a suit or khakis or nice pants or nice jeans. But you could also wear them very casually out if you want to. So whether it's casual or formal, these shoes look awesome. These boots give me amazing support, especially when I'm preaching. My feet get very tired. So I bought both the brown and the black. And again, I do have some reviews of these on my YouTube channel. And I'll post a link to Amazon where you can grab these. This is an A-tier gift right here. $200, I think, is a pretty good gift. I mean, that's expensive, but again, it depends on the person in your life. And Thursday boots are not going to disappoint. I think they're really going to be something awesome. Now, let me throw something in like a wild card. Okay, this is going to be wild here. But what about a class? What about if you bought somebody like a seminary class? You can audit a class at RPTS, the best Reformed seminary in the world, for about $100. So maybe what you do is you give them a homemade gift certificate or gift card for a class, and you forward the $100 or so to audit a class. You can take a class on Greek or Hebrew or Reformed theology or church history or Jonathan Edwards or polity or evangelism. You could take my class at RPTS. That would be really cool, especially for a guy who's into theology. Again, RPTS doesn't necessarily offer gift certificates, but probably they could. And honestly, if you wanted to pay for somebody to apply to get in as an MDiv student or a MTS student or something like that, that'd be an awesome gift, especially for the person that's thinking about going to school for seminary or Bible college or theology. I think taking an audited class and paying for that, make your own gift certificate and get them a class from RPTS, that would be an A-tier quality gift, no question about that. Final one right here, and again, this is definitely an A-tier gift, is a new Bible. And there's so many good Bibles out there. One of the many good Bibles out there is the Crossway Alpha. This is a small Bible, and I've done an entire review of this Bible on my YouTube channel. It is also very pricey. Okay, I apologize for that. We think the Bible should be free because it's God's Word, and I totally get that. There are definitely free places you can get the Bible online, free apps and so forth, so it is free in that sense, but the paper, the leather, the printing, that all costs real money, and there is no communist Marxist out there that's doing it for you. You have to buy stuff, right? Because we're capitalists. You have to pay for the things that you want, especially quality things. And a Crossway Alpha is an amazing, small, hand-sized church Bible. So if you want to get somebody a super quality gift, you could check that out as well. And again, I have a full review of the Crossway Alpha Bible on my channel. It's a high-end gift, definitely A-tier for sure. Okay, there are some cheaper Bibles that you could get that could go down in the A or B or C or D tier. And again, we're not talking about the inspiration of the word. We're talking about the quality of the production, the stuff it's made out of, the leather and the paper and so forth. But Crossway Alpha is definitely an A-tier Bible, and I have a ton of reviews of Bibles on this channel. So that's my lineup right there, from superior all the way down to D. I didn't put in any F gifts because I suppose, or E gifts, because I suppose you love the people that you're buying for. You're not buying to mess with somebody, but this is how I'd rank gifts, and I'm a dude, and I think about dudely things. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Thanks for checking into the channel. Don't forget, I will put all of these items in a link in the description if I can. Not everything can be linked, okay? But if there's a link available, I'll put it in the description so you can grab that on an Amazon affiliate link. All right, thanks for checking in. Thanks so much for everything. Love you guys lots. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll see you soon.